Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to address the sit-in that is actually still happening in Congress. If you are living under a rock, the Democrats in the House of Representatives and the Senate decided to stage a sit-in for a vote on gun control. And I was talking to some people at work last night, and I was extremely enraged, which is why I didn't address this last night. I wanted to be able to have a clear mind and sleep on it and see what happened this morning to see if anything changed. And in talking to some people last night, it occurred to me, and it became brutally clear, that this publicity stunt, and that's all that it is, this publicity stunt is working. A couple people at work said this is a great thing, which I immediately asked them, can you tell me what due process is? And to a man, every person said no. Then I asked, do you know what the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution is and how it protects you? Nope, didn't know that either. But they knew they wanted to follow these clowns, these ass clowns who are making a mockery of Congress. They believe everything they're told. The fact that these congressional leaders, senators and the representatives, are trying to put on this charade to help us, the American people, the people who don't know anything, the ones who need their guidance. The fact that they're trying to make you, and I believe that they feel for us, they know what we need. You need to look into that, guys. Look into everything. The average salary, the minimal salary for anybody who's a federally elected congressman is $174,000 a year, minimum. They're on different committees that can skyrocket, plus they make all kinds of money from other stuff. So at the very minimum, these people are making $174,000 a year. Now, are you making that money? Because I know I'm not. And they have the same struggles that you or I have? Come on, get real. Do you really think someone who makes 174 grand a year has to struggle to make a car payment? Wonders if they can buy diapers this week? Do you really think they know that feeling? Not a chance. They're totally out of touch with reality. They don't know anything about what you or I are dealing with on a daily basis. They have staffs. They have people do everything for them. They just show up, shake hands, and collect checks. The Fifth Amendment says, among other things, that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Now, due process, that is the key thing, okay? You can't just take away rights arbitrarily from the American people, thanks to the United States Constitution. Because without that, last night, this country would have just fallen into a pit. Now, some of the feedback I did get last night when I was asking random people about what's going on after they initiated the conversation was, well, don't you want to keep terrorists from getting guns? Now, folks, if you watch this channel, you know I'm a realist, and I call it like I see it. And I do that anytime somebody asks my opinion, because they asked for it, so I might as well give it to them. There is nothing, not a law, no word typed on paper, no action that you could take against law-abiding citizens that will stop terrorists from getting guns. You see, many of the firearms in circulation are made from other countries. You know, the AK-47, now they're starting to be made in America, but for eons, you couldn't get one unless you had it imported. There are many firearms makers that are not in America, and they don't follow our laws. So what makes you think that a terrorist can't just go, hey, Germany, I'm going to take this from here, or I'm going to go to Russia and get this gun here, I'm going to go to Budapest and get this over here. You're not going to stop them from getting guns. Wake up and smell the fucking coffee. Back to the no-fly list. Why will that not work? And stopping people on that list from getting guns? Well, because that list is 100% arbitrary. Anybody can be put on this list. You've heard me say it before. I'm sure you've seen it on TV. Anybody can be put on this list for any reason. There's no rule of law applied to it. Due process, that silly thing that keeps jamming up these Democrats and trying to force their agenda. There is nothing to protect you or I or your neighbor, your mother from being put on that list. So why should we allow them carte blanche to just take away the rights of everybody on that list when there are people on that list, erroneously, who are going to lose their Bill of Rights, their constitutional right to things? If you can't see that, then you're not a true American. You're just here for the ride, probably collecting checks, like the congressmen are. You think you know everything, but you don't. If you don't know that you or I are protected by the Constitution and nothing can go against that, and you still want this to be rammed down Americans' throats, you're part of the problem. There are so many issues with this list and every other list that they're going to try to implicate anybody on it as such a bad person. There's so many problems with it. Anybody can be put on, nobody's told they're put on, and you can't get yourself off if you're on there erroneously. The famous one, Senator Ted Kennedy from Massachusetts, when he was still alive, was the most senior senator in the land, and he was on that frickin' list. Was he a terrorist? No. But should he have been on that list? No. But he could get off because he's powerful, was powerful. What about you or I? So the sit-in last night. Every one of those people were out there tweeting and taking pictures, doing live streams on their phone like they were doing something great. Well, every one of them stood against the United States Constitution. Every one of them stood against due process. Every single one of them took acts against the United States Constitution. And they're traitors and should be treated as such. Vote them out of office. If not, do recalls if you can. Do everything you can. I've been tweeting my superstar, Elizabeth Warren and Jim McGovern and Ed Markey. You know, they thought they were all kinds of cool. I'll show you some of the tweets here in the pictures just to show you that I practice what I preach. I call them out. And I can't tell you how many letters I've gotten from Markey and Warren when I ask them about certain things, whether it's gun control or due process, and I get the same stupid letter back. It starts out like this. Dear Jared, thank you for reaching out to me about assault weapons. I grew up and my dad taught me how to shoot, and I used to hunt with my dad, but I think, and I don't want, and I think this, and I will vote that. That's the problem. Our politicians have turned into I want, I think, and that's not what they are. They are employees of you and I, and we pay them very well, 174 grand, remember? Minimum salary. We need to start calling them out when they do this stupid shit and put them on notice that we are now awake and we know what's going on and we won't stand for it. Because the only thing they're really worried about is the next election. To keep getting that money in perpetuity. That's all they're worried about. Free health care. Do you get free health care? I don't. And even if you're on the system, you're not getting free health care because everybody else is paying for it and you will too in the long run. What they're doing is unconstitutional and it needs to stop. Because it's not what this country was made for, it's not what their job entails, and it's not the oath that they took. I took an oath to uphold and defend the United States Constitution, and I still live by it today, and nothing's going to change that. And there are a lot more people like me out there that want to keep this constitutional republic the way it is. That's what makes America fucking fantastic, and that's why everybody wants to come here. So I urge you, if you do not know what due process is, if you're not familiar with the Constitution and what it says, if you don't know what the Fifth Amendment is, or the Second Amendment is, or the 13th Amendment, if you don't know what they are, take a couple minutes each day while you're on the John and read it. They're free apps on your phone, for Christ's sakes. You don't even have to hold paper. Everybody's out there screwing around on Clash of Clans or whatever. Take 2 minutes and read the Constitution. Once you know what your rights are, you're going to see the big picture and what's really going on out there. And you don't need people like me to tell you. And you can start debating people and have a basis of education and knowledge where you know you're right. This is Jared from Guns and Gadgets. Please like and subscribe. Please share this. Obviously, a lot of people don't know what the Constitution is and what our rights are because they think that this publicity stunt that's going on right now is the cat's ass, when really it's just a bunch of traitorous ass clowns who need to be dealt with. This is Jared again. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Until the next one, stay safe, stay vigilant, and carry your gun. Take care.